some people come from the temple, and these are people who are collecting taxes for the temple. So they say to Peter, do you and your master pay the temple tax? That maybe they're trying to check out to make sure he's paying, because these people often wanted to have something to accuse Jesus of. So they wanted to come to him and say, we can get you in trouble because you're not paying the temple tax. And so Peter says to them, well, I think we do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do. Jesus, I'm sure he would be doing the things that he's supposed to do. So the temple tax collectors, they leave them alone and they go away. But when they've gone, Peter finds Jesus. And when he finds Jesus, he tells them what's happened. And he says the temple tax collectors have just been, and they say that we need to pay 2 drachmas each, okay, for the temple tax. And then Jesus asks Peter a question. He says, let me ask you something, Peter. He says, when kings take taxes from the people of their country, do the kings take taxes from the princes, like their own sons? What do you think Peter says to that? No, he says, no, the sons wouldn't have to pay the tax. The other people would, but not the son of the king. And Jesus says to him, well, really, we shouldn't have to pay the tax either, because why is he saying that?
He's Jesus, the Son of God.
Jesus is the Son of God. He's saying the temple is actually where my Father is worshipped and where I am worshipped. He says, really, I shouldn't be having to pay money to pay for the upkeep. But he says, look, let's not offend anybody. If that's really what they want, then that's what we'll do. What we'll do is we'll pay the temple tax. Now, it's 2 drachma each, so they need to find 4 drachma. Now, does Jesus just put his hand in his pocket and say, here's the 4 drachma, Peter? He doesn't, because he doesn't have any money, clearly. Jesus never really owned much, did he? We never hear about Jesus' house. When he came into Jerusalem, he was on somebody else's donkey. When he had his last supper with his friends, it was in a borrowed room. And everything Jesus ever had, it was like it was borrowed or just used. So he says to Peter, he says, right, Peter, this is what you're going to do. I want you to go down to the lakeside. And he says, take your fishing line and throw your fishing line into the water. Well, that sounds a strange thing, because Peter's thinking, well, hang on a minute, how's that going to help us pay for the temple tax? But Peter does what he's told, and he throws his line in, and he catches the first fish just as Jesus said. Now, do you think he's going to take the fish and sell it at the market and maybe get 4 drachma? What do you think might happen, Ernie? What do you think is going to happen?
He's going to open the mouth.
He's going to open the mouth of the fish. How's that going to help him? What's he going to find inside the mouth of the fish? What do you think, Ernie?
A drachma coin?
A drachma coin. Just 1 drachma? What do you think? What do you think it's going to find?
1 coin worth 4.
1 coin worth 4 drachma. Well, that would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? That would be absolutely crazy if that were to happen. But he opens the fish's mouth, and inside is 1 coin with 4 drachma in it.
4.
Now, isn't that amazing? Jesus knew that there was a fish out there with a coin in its mouth. How did he know that? Well, I think he was so powerful that he was able to make that fish do that. And God will do incredible things to help us. You know, Jesus took a fish, made it put a coin in its mouth, made that be the particular fish that Peter caught when he threw his line in. And Peter must have been thinking, this is amazing. God says to us that if we trust God, if we follow God, he will always make sure that we have the things that we need. And it shows us, doesn't it, just how powerful God is, that God can even arrange events so much that he can make sure that a fish has a coin in it. And what's greatest of all is the coin was worth exactly 4 drachma.